Hey guys, today I'm going to be filming this look right here. I'm going to be testing out the new Anastasia Norvina palette as well as the new Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder. So if you want to see how I created this look and if I like these products, my opinions on them and anything like that, please continue to Okay guys, so we are going to be trying today the Norvina palette, and this is Anastasia's newest palette, and the co-creator of the brand Norvina designed her own palette, and this is just the unicarton of it. I'm going to take it out for you guys. It's similar to the Modern Renaissance, this like velvety packaging. Like I said before, my air conditioner's on, fair warning, so it might sound a little funny, but it's just hot. But back to the palette. This is the palette. It's got that nice fuzzy felt front and back like the Modern Renaissance. I don't particularly love this packaging. It does get dirty pretty fast, but the palette itself, like the colors and stuff, is totally Norvina. If anybody follows her or you guys know about the brand, like Norvina loves purples and pastels and like crazy colors. So yeah, this is the outside of the palette, and let me just open it up and show you the inside. And I'll bring it a little closer so you guys can see. This color scheme is totally, again, Norvina. I did finger swatch these. I have not tried them on my eyes yet. That's why you can kind of see some marks in here. That's from my fingers. The shimmer shades feel, upon first swatch, like extremely creamy. And they swatched beautifully. The mattes as well feel super creamy. They are powdery, but because of the amount of pigment that Anastasia shadows have, I'm not that concerned. I didn't try the Subculture, but I remember hearing so much about it. So I'm interested to try these on my eyes. I was going to go ahead and try them the other day when I got the palette in, but I decided to wait and try them on camera for you guys because I think this would be a good palette to have a first impressions on. I kind of noticed this. I don't necessarily know if it's to be true, but I feel like the top shimmer shade will correspond with the bottom shade. Like I feel like you could totally do a look with these two and these two and these two and so forth. Today I'm going to try to do some, I don't know if I'm going to do a crazy look or a more typical me look. Last time I did like more of a smoky look, so I'm thinking the color that spoke to me the most and the reason like I wanted to buy this palette was this Wild Child shade right here. My eyes are primed. I used the Too Faced concealer. This is like my new favorite everything product, but this is the Born This Way concealer, and I just used this to set my eyes, and then I set it with the Essence Brighten Up powder. I'm gonna go in now with my Naked palette. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Naked brush because it's a little bit fluffier, and I'm gonna take the shade Incense right here, and I'm just gonna put this in the crease. And so when I do hit the shadow in the pan, I definitely have some kick up. Again, that stuff doesn't really bother me, but it does bother some people. Oh, I didn't blow this off, so we got a lot of color pigment there. It's like, I mean, I guess that's a good thing to show you guys. Like, I literally didn't blow it off, and I just literally lightly touched my eye, and that's the color payoff we got. So I will say they're extremely pigmented, which I always find with Anastasia shadows. I'm going to take the clean Anastasia brush right now and just kind of buff this out a little bit because it did lay on a little too thick for my liking. So, you know, side note, going forward, definitely buff out the shadow. Tap out the shadow before putting it on. I'm just going to work with this in my crease and kind of blend it downward as well. I just want this to be a really diffused shadow. And like I've said before with my eyeshadow, I always make it really messy and kind of blow it out to the sides because I will clean it up later with concealer and stuff. I have very dry patches like right in this area of my eye on both sides. So I have a hard time getting shadow to stick to that part of my eye. So I guess it's a good thing you can kind of see that the color intensity is very buildable. I was able to take this eye from a soft look to definitely a more intense look, only to match the other side. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip into the shade Love, and it's like this pretty pink shade, and I'm just gonna take this, yeah, again, so see all the powder, I'm gonna dust this off, and like you guys can see on camera too, all the powder that's coming off, but I'm just gonna take this shade and I'm gonna put this under that Incense shade, and this will brighten up my crease. I don't care if this gets on the lid either. I'm very messy when applying crease shades only because I will go back in with concealer anyway. blended together. When I blended it in the crease, it kind of turned to like a purpley kind of shadow. It looks pink in the pan, like a deep pink, but mixed with that incense color, because I did mix the two colors in the crease, it came kind of purpley, and I'm liking it. But I do want to just like kind of give a disclaimer of the fact that like the shadows in the pan, they don't apply the same color as they look in the pan, in my opinion, because like that incense shade looks like a nice, you know, neutral brown, but then when I put it in my crease, it was very dark, a lot darker than I expected. So this look definitely is going to be different than what I had pictured originally, but it's okay. But it also depends on skin tone, you know, so like if your skin tone is different than mine, obviously these shadows will look different, but it's just kind of like a disclaimer for you. I'm going to go ahead and conceal my lid, and then I'm going to go in with that Wild Child shade on my just clean up my crease with the NARS Soft Matte Concealer like usual. I'm going to go in with the shade Wild Child now right here. I want to try to use my finger, but I think this I am going to try to use a brush, and this I'm going to try to use my finger. So I'm going to go in dry right now with this brush. This is my ColourPop flat brush, of course. And I'm just going to take this shade on the brush. These shimmer shadows are extremely creamy, but also extremely powdery. So I'm just going to take that brush now and kind of put the shadow down. So with a brush, I'm not seeing like a great color payoff. I'm gonna try my finger, and then I will try it wet as well. Yeah, so the finger is the way clearly to go. The hard part is for me. The hard part is for me is my nails. I'm not able to get a clean application like I would want, so unfortunately, I'm gonna try to go back in with this brush. I'm gonna wet it and see if that makes a difference. So I'm just gonna wet the shadow and see if maybe that will make a difference in application. Okay, so wetting it does make a difference. I guess I'm gonna wet it again. I guess my only issue with this is that these shimmer shades are extremely powdery, and I fear that I would hit pan. Sorry, I'm like trying to go up close. Also, I want to just bring you guys in closer so you could see the shimmer shade is like clinging in certain areas. So I don't really know. I'm gonna try my finger again and just see, like, if I show you swatched on my hand, this comes off so pigmented. But putting it on my eye it's not really sticking all the way. It's like kind of getting crackly, and I'm not sure if that's the concealer underneath, but I've really never had that problem before. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this eye off camera, and I'm gonna come to the side as well. I'm not that impressed, to be honest with you, with the shimmers. When I swatched them on my hand, I was, but I just want to bring something to your attention. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but like with these shimmers, the powder kickback with them is a lot, and I feel like the shadows itself, they're kind of crumbly, the shimmery shades. I want to try a different shade just to see, so I'm going to take the shade right here. This is the shade Celestial, and I'm going to take that on a brush, and this one seems to be a little bit tighter packed than Wild Child, but I'm going to take this on a brush, and I'm just going to apply this to the center of my lid. So this shade seems to be applying a tad bit better, but as far as these shimmer shades go, they seem very patchy. I'm going to bring you up close so you can see, like, it literally is cracking in these areas. It's not applying. So I'm not necessarily sure what that could be. I will play with this palette again. Like I said, the hard part about first impressions is that it's literally your first impression, so I might have to try to, you know, put this on with no concealer underneath. I don't know if the concealer really affected it, but like I've said, that's kind of weird because I've used this concealer with every single eyeshadow and never had a problem. It just seems to be a bit like textured, like it's making my eyes look extremely textured and creasy, and I don't like that. So I don't know. I'm going to take that ColourPop brush, and I'm just going to take that Celestial shade, and I'm going to put it all over the lid and maybe try my hardest to save this look. I don't like Wild Child, which is kind of depressing because that was like the whole reason I bought the palette. Because I loved that pink in it. So I'm just going to take Celestial and kind of clean up my lid because I'm not loving the way the shimmers look. I feel like it's not very cohesive. There's a few like patches where the color will just not stick on my eye regardless of what I'm doing. And I have dry patches on my eyes like I said before, but like this seems to be because of the shadow. But it definitely applies 110% better with your finger. So I'm gonna lay that base down with my finger and then just kind of try to spread it. Okay. So I think I kind of saved it a little bit with that Celestial shade. I like it much better than Wild Child. I think Wild Child would be like a good like fluffy brush kind of color. Nothing if you don't want too much like color payoff or anything, but just like a nice fluffy shimmer shade for the lid. I think that would be a really nice shade. There is some serious fallout. I'm just gonna clean this up underneath quickly. And I'm going to put on some eyelashes and stuff, and I will be back to try out the Huda Beauty face, and I have my concealer on. I am now going to try the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder, and it comes in like this cute little container, and then this is the actual like carton. I got the shade Blondie. I went to my local store to find it. They only had them in the back, so they took it out for me. I was very unsure of if I should do the shade Blondie or if I should do the shade Banana Bread. So I did go ahead and order Banana Bread online because like when I got home I was second guessing if I should have gotten it or not. But this is going to be my first time trying this powder, and it says pack under the eye, T-zone corners of mouth and chin, and let bake for 3 to 5 minutes and dust off excess powder. I'm just gonna open it, and the inside of it is like this little net kind of thing. I am going to just take some of it and dump it out of the cap. I like the net, but for right the second. So I am just going to blend out my under eye creasing one more time because I always do this before I put on concealer. And I'm gonna take the powder on a damp beauty sponge and just pat it under my eye. So off of first impression, I just want to know I dislike this netting so much. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to like really get the powder out. I'm hitting it right now, but like nothing comes out of it. So I think that that's kind of annoying. Like I understand why they have the netting, but I'm just not loving the netting. I probably am going to cut it just because I like to grab a lot of powder, especially if you're baking. I feel like you need a lot of powder, and this kind of makes it hard to grab a lot of powder. Like as you could tell, I'm really struggling as far as putting the powder on to bake. But I am going to let this sit for about 5 minutes, and I will come back, brush it off, and just let you know how I think of the powder. Off first impressions, I really do like the powder itself. I feel like it's extremely smoothing, and like it definitely instantly mattified and smoothed my forehead as soon as I put it on. But I will see how I like it in the end of the baking process. So it has been 5 minutes. I am going to dust off the powder using my Morphe brush. Okay, so my face looks actually flawless. It looks extremely airbrushed. The powder did not cake or stick in this dry patch that I have right here that normally a lot of powders do stick into. Off the bat, I thought it was a little bit too yellowy. I think it's okay. I'm going to try the Banana Bread. I'm going to keep them both probably and just mix them because I think right now while I'm tan, this Blondie shade is nice, but the Banana Bread just had a little bit more of a white tone to it. So I think once I lose a little bit of my tan, like I said, I tan, so I will always be darker. But once I lose a little bit of like my summer tan, I think that'll be a good color to mix it with. When I was reading the instructions, it says to dip the brush or the sponge into the net, but I found when I did that, nothing really came out, so it might just be me. It could be a user error, but as far as the powder goes, I think it's gorgeous. I'm going to finish my bronzer, and then I'm going to come back, do under my eyes, and we will wrap up this video with my thoughts. So I did my eyebrows off camera, and then I just took under my eyes the shade Base right here. Just put it under my eyebrow just to brighten it up a little bit. Side note, my eyebrows are still on the struggle bus. When my eyebrow lady, who I've been seeing for 5 years almost, she took off like a piece of my eyebrow here, so they're not even, and now they're in this awkward weird stage where drawing them in is like a mess. But so that's why they look like this. I do know what I'm doing, it's just they look stupid. But now I'm going to take the shade right here, and this is the shade Soul, and I'm going to put this right on the bottom of my lash line. I always like, now it's a thing that I have to line the bottom of my lash line. So I did just add some mascara underneath my eyes, and now I'm going to go in with the Sweets Glow Kit, and I'm going to take a little mixture of Sassy Grape and Taffy and just brush off my brush, and I'm going to apply this right to the apples of my cheeks. So I'm going to take now the shade Dreamer right here, and I'm going to use this to highlight. Like, I just want you to see, as soon as you tap your brush in, look how much, I know there's a glare, but look how much kick up, and like it literally put a hole in the palette, and I have crazy amounts of fallout, so I'm a little disappointed with that. But I'm going to use this as an inner corner highlight. I am just going to take that Dreamer shade and highlight with it as well. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I like it a lot. This is something that I would definitely wear out. I'm usually like, I don't know, obviously you guys probably know, I'm like afraid to use color a lot of the times, but I do like to use purples and pinks because my eyes are like a hazily green, and I think purples and pinks definitely bring out my eye color. As far as the Norvina palette goes, I'm on the fence. I want to just show you guys, this is the inside of it after using it, so it's super messy already, which I'm like a neat freak, so I dislike. These shimmer shades like are so soft that if I push my finger into it, like you can see, I showed you with the brush before too, you literally make a huge dent in them. So I don't necessarily know how long they're gonna last, which is kind of disappointing for the fact that like these shimmer shadows are beautiful, but I don't necessarily know if they will last that long. So if that's something that's important to you, it kind of is important to me, just because the palette itself is $42, then I would definitely think about that. The purple was a little difficult to apply, as well as the pink. It kind of went on a little patchy. In the end, it looks beautiful. It took a little bit of me working with it, which if you are not really good at makeup, or you're like a beginner, or like, not saying that I'm amazing at makeup, but I kind of have used it a lot, so I know more things to do. But if you're like just starting out and you really wanted to use this palette, I think the shimmer shades are going to give you a really tough time, as well as if you have like long nails like me, it's going to be really hard for you to get a precise application. I'm going to play with this off camera, and I will update it in the description bar in about 2 weeks time from when this video goes up. I want to try to play with the shimmers more, apply them with different brushes, different techniques. I'm going to try to apply it next time without the concealer and see if that makes a difference, because it could really make a difference. But yeah, so I'm going to try a bunch of different things as far as that goes. But the mattes in the palette are absolutely gorgeous, super pigmented, they blend well. They're powdery, but I find that with most Anastasia palettes, and it's not powdery to the point where like I feel like I'm wasting product as far as the mattes go. So the Anastasia palette, the Norvina palette, I don't know, it's like one of those things again where I'm really just not sure. I love the Anastasia palettes. Like, I have a lot of them. I have the Mario Master palette, I have the Modern Renaissance, I have one of the other ones from the beginning. I don't buy every single palette that comes out, but I buy the ones that like their color scheme really speaks to me. I was on the fence about the Norvina palette just because I didn't know how often I would wear these colors, because realistically I won't wear purple shimmer to work every day, but I bought it because I know that their shadows and their palettes sell out really fast. Like the Mario palette, I was on the fence about that, and I bought it because a friend had told me to, and I'm really happy that I did buy it because I do use it often, and that was completely sold out, special edition. And this is a special edition palette as well, I believe, so I bought it just to have it. Do I recommend you spend $42 on it? I don't think so. That's kind of sad to say, because like I really do like them. I just don't necessarily know if it's worth it. I will update that in 2 weeks. Maybe my opinion will change once I try the other shimmers or I try different ways to apply them, but I also will update how much of the shadow I have lost and if I have hit pan on anything, because I'm really going to try to use this a lot of the days in the next upcoming weeks just to see. As far as the Huda Beauty powder, I love this. I would 110,000% recommend this. I think it was $34 I paid for it, so that's not crazy expensive. You get, I didn't even say this, but you get 20 grams of product, or 0.71 ounces, which is pretty good. I just don't love the net on it, I'm gonna be honest, but if that was the only thing that I didn't like about it, that's fine. The powder itself, like as you can tell, it makes my face look like so smooth. Like I feel like I have a filter on my face. I definitely see that it absorbs the shine. I'm excited for the other shade to come in and use that one as well, but I love this powder. I hope you like it. I really like it. Besides those like minor snafus, but I feel really good in this. On my lips, just so you guys know, let me just pull it out for you. I have the Marc Jacobs lip gloss in the shade Pink Steam, and it's like a purpley lavendery kind of iridescent color, and I think it matches my eyes perfectly. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys later. Bye.